So I went with Manchester today.
Wow.
The Monarchs. So I don't know that I've ever worn this jersey before. And to answer the question, yes, I did get that Reebok in good shape. Thank you very much.
I owe what is left of my sanity to Shannon. Me too. Agreed.
Yeah, but you don't have any left, so that's kind of an
That's
indictment on me.
That's
Then
what teenagers do.
give you back your sanity or take it.
Take it. Teenagers take my sanity. They certainly don't give it back.
Hello, Lars.
Hello, hello. See, can we get a video about the Fedorov offer sheet plus the whole Ilyich Komenos feud? Oh, I've
Ilyich
seen that.
Karamanos.
Okay.
No, just a sec. No, Maple.
I wish we could change the font on these. Hello, Yvonne and Yvonne's husband. That's how it should be, right?
Come on, leave her alone. Not bothering Bear.
Ever rooted solely for a team solely because of the jerseys?
When I was a kid, absolutely. As a kid,
how else do you pick what team to root for?
How do you think I became a Flames fan?
Helmets.
Flames fan were fun, or Flames jerseys were fun. The big red C on the front.
Jets.
What other one too? Boston initially. I like that their logo was really simple. I could draw it, and yeah, I mean there were simple logos, nice jerseys, good colors.
Kevin Hayes is going to
St. Louis. He is. The trade at last that I saw has not been finalized. I figured we could do a live stream and they'll finalize it during the live stream.
True.
Because, although I have left the house a couple of times and it hasn't been finalized yet. So
Maple having tortitude moment always.
Well, her and Azrael have both been trying to put Bear out of the window today, and I haven't allowed it. They want the window to themselves. I'm like, no, Bear's there. She's allowed to exist. And then when Bear's sitting next to me, they try to put her away from me too, because it's like, nah, he's our human.
Hello, Yvonne and Shannon. Hope your Sunday evening is going well. I'm a fan of the Kings old jerseys. Agreed.
I've got all the old Kings jerseys.
Really like the old King jerseys.
Debating about doing a jersey history series first and then doing the jersey countdown.
Either way, you've got summer covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Detroit could get Konechny and DeBrincat, how far could they go?
Well, that's going to take up a lot of cap space. So that's a lot of money with those two players. But it would definitely solve their scoring depth issues. And honestly, I think Detroit should be aiming for playoffs next year. So that could help. Can't hurt.
We need Bear to give the classic death stare to Yvonne so she can once again show that Shannon only belongs to her.
I'm getting the death stare from her right now.
Bear's number one. Huh? Are you number one? Yes. She's pretty sure. Could Michkov seek asylum in the U.S., void his contract, and would he potentially go number 2 to Anaheim? If so.
I mean, technically, I guess he could. He's not going to. He signed that contract in the KHL for 3 years. I don't think he has any intention of coming over until that's done. That seems to be all indications at this point. And I don't know if he'd go ahead of Fantilli even if he did come over. Fantilli, there's a lot of hype around him.
A nice Canucks jersey. Haven't seen that one before. It's not a jersey. Okay, so this is one of the girl. It's a girl shirt.
And it's starter too.
It's a girl shirt, but it's a fun one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we kind of get gypped on fun hockey stuff. They make hockey stuff for boys.
No, I got you different. I got the Quebec sweatshirt.
But this is fun.
Instead.
I like it. It's kind of hot though. This fabric is way hotter than I thought it would be.
That's not what I expected either then.
Right?
Because I ordered that. I was like, well, this will be nice for the summer because it looked lighter.
This is toasty.
Okay.
This is toasty.
I'm sorry.
When I put it on, I did not think it would be as hot as it is, but it is. Do you think it's time that the Bruins finally bite the bullet and begin a real rebuild?
It's going to depend on how this year goes. I think the plan is to try to stay in the playoffs and stay competitive. Because, I mean, they're just coming off the President's Trophy. But, I mean, if this year goes the way that I think it could, although I was a doomsayer last summer too, so who knows? But they're going to soon enough. I would say at the latest 2 years from now.
Hey guys, glad to see you're well. Shannon, did you happen to get the Reebok away wild jersey I sent you yet?
Yep, I showed it at the start of the live stream. I have it. It's in good shape. It's in the collection. It'll be in the countdown as well. And it's just, you know, those shoulder patches. I hadn't seen that. And I stumbled upon it when I think I was doing a Zach Parise search, and I was like, I don't know that. I don't have that jersey. I don't have that. So now I need to go through the jersey site and see what other little things I might have missed. And to add to this, it wouldn't be very much. I think there's a couple of St. Louis ones that just aren't available from the 70s. So there's some that just they weren't produced by CCM and they haven't been produced since. So fingers crossed that the team classics from Adidas aren't like this year. This year they were all jerseys I already had. So Ben's like, here's what I'm getting. And I was like, I have all that. And so that was the end of that conversation.
Should Pittsburgh trade 14th for Vejmelka?
I don't think Vejmelka's worth the 14th. Vejmelka can be very, very good. He can also be mediocre. The consistency isn't where you'd want it to be if you're Pittsburgh. I think he perfectly suits Arizona's needs for another year. But yeah, consistency is an issue with his game.
Where is Bear and Licorice?
Bear's here.
Staring right
Licorice
at us.
is outside. The buns are all outside.
The buns are having recess.
It's hot. It's sunny, and so they're out in the sun and the fun.
I was just checking on them. They're very, very happy.
They're happy rabbits. Licorice was in here this morning, though. He did not want to go out. I had to convince him. He's a very cranky little rabbit.
I moved they have an outside enclosure to make sure they're like doubly safe. Our backyard is completely enclosed, but then we have like a big dog kennel around it. And so I moved where the kennel part is to the other half of the yard. So they've got some long-ish grass. So they're pretty darn happy out there now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on trading Brock Nelson now while his value is high? He has a $6 million cap hit for 2 more years. Isles could get a haul.
Well, the trick they'd have is finding a team that has $6 million in cap space to pick him up. And then with Nelson, I do think he'd score more somewhere else. I don't know how much market value you'd have right now, though. Again, the flat cap is going to make it tricky for a lot of teams that are contenders. Next summer, we could see a lot more names, maybe like a Nelson getting moved, but I can't see the Islanders moving him.
That was my 29th birthday. We'll just ignore that my oldest just graduated last week. They're great lawnmowers and composters. They're really good for composting too.
Yep.
They're great multitaskers. They're kind of lazy though. Good. So what's my tea? It's called Coco Colada. It's really good. It's my favorite one.
Oh, that is a good one.
It's my favorite iced tea from David's Tea. It's great. I make it in the fridge.
If only there was a better way of saying pineapple and coconut. But
looks like based off rumors, PLD is close to be traded to the Kings. LA2.
I haven't heard Hellebuck being attached to that. That would be such a huge deal if both of them went together. But Dubois, it sounds like he's worked out an extension with the Kings, and it's a matter of figuring out which players and make sure Torrey Krug doesn't veto that one too.
Much love from Raleigh. Go Canes.
Canes almost have D'Angelo back, but something held that up and it didn't go through. So we'll see.
Are the Wings a playoff team if they get to Brinkett?
Depends what else they add. And of course, you've got to make sure you've got enough depth on the blue line. You need that veteran depth on the blue line. It really, I think with Yzerman, we'll get a better picture of this on July the 1st as to what the plan is. And if he signs a couple of big names, then he wants playoffs next season.
Oh, I like Earl Grey. Earl Grey's great. I had some rooibos chai this morning. It was lovely. Realistically, who do you see trading for Karlsson? I've heard Pittsburgh, but I don't see the money working.
The cap is going to be really, really difficult to make any kind of trade for Karlsson. I expect that a lot of the Canadian media will still say Oilers, which it could work with the Oilers. But really, you have to find a team that has cap space. Apparently, he wants also his best chance at a Stanley Cup. At this point, it might as well be the Anchorage Unicorns because I don't know who can afford them. That's also a contending team.
Should the Kraken promote Decord next year?
He had an excellent run in the playoffs. I think that if Ron Francis decided to give him the backup job for next season, I don't think that would be the worst decision.
What are your thoughts on players not wanting to play in Canada? It seems, especially in Calgary, Tkachuk set a precedent that the U.S. market is the place to go. How do the Canadian teams fix this?
It's just cyclical. Like, we aren't seeing a lot of players wanting out of Edmonton. We aren't seeing a lot of guys wanting out of Vancouver or Toronto or Montreal. It's just right now, Calgary and Winnipeg are going through this. Ottawa's got this with DeBrincat, but we knew that was a danger when they picked up DeBrincat last year from Chicago. And of course, Ottawa, I don't think the ownership taking as long as it did to be named, I don't think that helped either. But I'm not panicked. All three teams, Ottawa, Calgary, Winnipeg, they've all got guys who've signed long-term contracts. It's about having the right players.
Oh, my mom asked about your jersey.
Manchester.
Okay. It's an affiliate.
Yeah, Manchester Monarchs. And it says right at the bottom, Manchester.
Oh, you guys were asking about Bear. Can you hear her?
Yeah, she's getting very noisy right now. Up here.
Thoughts on AEW Collision?
I didn't get to see it. I don't know if it's being carried on TSN up here, but since my cable is still not in my room, and I don't have a paid subscription for TSN. Yeah, no, they never sent it. The box never came. So yeah, I don't have cable in here, so
which is obnoxious.
It
right
limits
now.
what I'm going to be able to watch.
What's with the Monty Python quotes? I think I missed something. What do you think of the new owners of Ottawa sends over Snoop the dog? Now there will be no free pot there.
Well, the Nico Sparks bid just didn't have enough money behind it. And so there was some concern that if they did sell to Nico Sparks, he wouldn't have the kind of money necessary to keep the franchise going and make it all work. Michael Andlauer, you don't have that problem. Andlauer is a billionaire.
Well, what? Will Kevin Adams make any trades during the draft? Do you think he'll trade Casey Middlestad?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know that I would trade Middlestad right now if I was the Sabres. He finally started playing really well this past season, but if it's a chance to improve the team, he might.
Does Josh Bailey have negative value right now? He has 1 year left at a $5 million. He's not that old. He could be a useful vet for someone.
I know there's been talk about whether or not the Islanders might buy out Bailey. It doesn't sound like they're going to, but yeah, he doesn't really have much value right now. If he was going to be traded, it might make more sense at, say, the trade deadline.
Preds have almost $20 million in cap space. Do you see any blockbuster trades or big free agent signings?
I think they'll probably go out and get a couple of free agents, but having cap space is a good thing. As I said in that one video today, cap space is gold. It's really important to have cap space.
Oh, I saw somebody asking how we wash jerseys. I wash them with the rest of our laundry, but you wash them inside out. I do not do hot. I just do them on the eco temp, so it's like room temperature or cold, and then you hang them to dry. That's the most important part. Don't ever put your jerseys in the dryer. Never put your jerseys in the dryer. That's by far the most important. Never put it in the dryer. Ever. But other than that, yeah, just put it in the wash. And if you do it inside out, that helps protect your logos, especially if they're the older, like Reebok or starters, where it's the heat pressed instead of the stitched on. Then inside out really helps protect those corners that tend to lift. Will Kevin Adams make any trades during the draft? Do you think? Yep, I sure did. Does Josh? Nope, I read that one. Why did it go back up?
Yes, that one too.
That's bizarre. There we go. Does PLD help the Kings? I really don't know.
Dubois is an excellent, I would say, second line center because I can't see him bumping down Kopitar. I really do think that Dubois in the right circumstance can be a 70-point plus guy. I don't think he'll ever be like an absolute superstar or changes the game on his own, but he's a very good top six forward.
Can't wait to see Connor McBedard play in the NHL next year. The first Edmonton-Chicago game will be a lot of fun. Connor squared.
A lot of players named Connor. That's a very common name right now, clearly, because there's
the
a lot
age.
of hockey players.
It's the age.
Connor.
Connor was a really popular name 20 years ago.
See, my kid was Noah, and there were a lot of Noahs. Stupid. ER and
okay.
I blame ER for that.
I'm surprised the Canes are not trying to get Konechny along with D'Angelo. I wonder if the Canes want Foley or Henrique.
I can't see. I mean, if Konechny gets moved, fine, but I wouldn't be trying to move Konechny if I was the Flyers. He's still young. If you're going to do a rebuild, he's still going to be in his prime when it's done. I don't think he's overpaid. So unless he wants out, I wouldn't be moving Konechny.
How many of you put in the dryer? I don't put jerseys in the dryer.
Nope. I haven't had a jersey in the dryer for at least 12 years.
Do the Wild have what it takes to get a cup soon?
You know, the fact that they have so much dead cap money is going to make that really, really difficult. They can stay in the mix for the playoffs. I don't know if they can afford the kind of depth they're going to need to go on a nice long run in the playoffs.
If Horvat had made it to UFA this summer, do you think he would have gotten more than $8.5 million a year, considering how weak this class is?
He could have, because if he'd stayed in Vancouver, he would have kept producing goals at a pretty high rate. Probably would have ended up with maybe 45 goals. And yeah, you would have teams, and not only that, but you have Canuck fans losing their minds at the idea of him leaving for nothing. So yeah, he would have made a lot of money on the market.
Bear would like to be held all day.
Yep.
She would be very happy if she was held all day long.
I would never. I have a papoose. I bought one. She won't sit in it, but I bought one because I'm anticipating as she gets older, she seems to get needier and clingier. So I may have to just carry her around all the time.
Do the Rangers make any major moves?
It doesn't seem like that's in the offing right now. I haven't heard anything major around the Rangers. I read something Barclay Goodrow related that was made up by a parody account on Twitter, and now Twitter's running with it. So that's how things are on Twitter now, that somebody makes a fake account and they say, hey, I hear this. And then people just go way off in the meandering. And
that are the YouTube videos that people do where they make random guesses and then we get all the comments of, hey, did you hear about this?
Yeah, I learned,
some random guy online
right
says
around the beginning of the channel not to do anything like that.
Who would you rather start your team with, Robertson or Kaprizov?
Kaprizov. It's not close. I love Jason Robertson, great player, absolutely fantastic guy and everything, but yeah, Kaprizov.
Do the Blues have to trade Krug now?
They don't have to. There are players who refuse trades that have then gone on to keep playing with the team they're with. Usually it's not for very long, but it's not like his teammates are going to have a problem with them. It's not like Berube would have a problem with him turning it down. Armstrong might, but he's not in the locker room.
Somebody says, I think I missed some super... Oh,
there you go.
Yeah. Hello from Chicago. Do you think Jonathan Taves will retire or go to a contender?
It's going to depend on his health. I don't know that we know an answer to that. I don't think he signs anywhere July the 1st. I think it's going to wait until he has a clean bill of health, and we don't know when that's going to be.
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay? Who do you got tonight?
I think Omega won the first one, so Ospreay should win this one, and then they'll have a rubber match after that.
I don't know what that's supposed to say.
You skipped one.
No, I already read that.
The green one up there?
Yeah. See?
Okay.
I already read it. It skipped 2, and I went back and got them.
Okay.
Okay, well, there we go. Thoughts on Vegas repeating, and how far do the Kraken make it next year? Shadow, be nice.
The Kraken absolutely could.
Watching you.
The Kraken could be a contender next year. It's going to depend on what they do in the offseason, but they could be a contender next year, absolutely.
Oh, I see Lars put something in the suggestions. I do, even if I don't comment on the suggestions channel on our Discord, I do look at it. I try to look at it at least every other day, and I always send them to Shannon. But even if I don't respond to them, I do look at them.
Hey, sweetie.
What's my favorite band of all time? Tool.
Yep, we get to see them.
It'll be Shannon's first time seeing them live.
But
It'll
first
be
we get
my
to see
fifth.
we get to see Volbeat together for the first time,
Yay! Oh, that'll be so fun.
which means Hailstorm, which is awesome.
That'll be so fun. That'll be a fun one. Okay. Hello once again, friends. If Blake Wheeler does wind up being bought out, would he likely reunite with Paul Maurice with the Panthers?
I mean, that's possibly one of the destinations. The Panthers not with a lot of cap space, so he'd have to sign a team-friendly deal. But at this stage in his career, Wheeler wants to win, so I would not be surprised to see him end up with a Florida team.
Is the Gary Bettman account that comments on your videos the actual guy? No.
No.
We do know who he is, though, but that is not the actual Gary Bettman.
No.
If the actual Gary Bettman was on there, I highly doubt he would go by his actual name. I'm sure he would get harassed endlessly.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon, would the Flames ever consider a rebuild? Also, who do you think Flames might draft at 16th?
At 16th, it seems like on a lot of the mock drafts, their best pick at that spot will be one of the forwards, probably one of the wingers. This is a pretty deep draft, so it's a player that won't be ready right away, but 2-3 years down the road could be very good for them. I don't know about a rebuild for Calgary, but if all of the players that want out end up not fetching a return that's anything outside of prospects, they're going to have to rebuild. There's not going to be much choice.
Thoughts on Vegas repeating and how?
You asked me that one.
Oh, I sure did.
But Vegas repeating, I absolutely think they can. I will add, I absolutely think they can. I don't think they do, but I think they can.
A Tool is loud and hideous. They are not, Mom. Thank you. I never made you listen to Tool.
Tool's not loud.
I was a good daughter, and I listened to my music very quiet.
I wouldn't say Tool is loud either.
Compared to some of the other music I listen to, not really. Yeah, comparatively.
Like Lateralis, that's a fantastic song. I wouldn't say that's overly
Will Smith, loud. Ryan Leonard, and Matvey Michkov.
I would take Michkov as the most talented. Smith's the center. Keep in mind with drafts, centers usually go earlier. Very often, centers will end up getting taken much sooner than we think. Like one of the recent examples would be Barrett Hayden with the Arizona Coyotes. That one was kind of a surprise by a few spots. And then Leonard, I would have third.
Oh, somebody's talking about Maynard having trouble singing live. Yeah, he got COVID during the pandemic, and it really affected him.
Yeah.
Same with Jonathan Davis of Korn. He had a lot of trouble too.
Yep.
What kind of trades will Montreal do this week?
Anything they do, it'll still be looking to the future. I don't think they're building themselves up yet. I think that they'll be looking for, not necessarily more draft picks, but more prospects beyond this season, and probably a little bit extra cap wiggle room as well.
How does Laviolette hiring by the Rangers correspond with the War of 1812? I've heard there was a lateral move, and that's how we ended up here.
So it's been 211 years since the War of 1812, and it's been that many years since the Rangers had like this really dominant run to the Stanley Cup. Now, the 1812 Stanley Cup win is not widely recognized, but they did, and it was actually Laviolette's great-great-great-great-grandfather, Duke Laviolette, that led that team to the Stanley Cup. So there's definitely a tie in there. I think it's good luck for them.
He could say this random stuff with such a straight face. And that's why every time he says this stuff, like to our kids, Adelaide does this look at me. Is that true? Because it's hard to tell.
She sounds
Do you consider Luz Isles' tenure a success? Even with no cup, he has had playoff success and restored legitimacy and pride to the organization.
Yes, I would absolutely say it's been a success. He's been very good for them. Could he be better? Yes, but I definitely think he's done a good job.
Do you think Tristan Jarry stays with the Pens?
See, the problem now is that you've got less than a week until free agency. If I'm Jarry, I go to the market just to see what the offers are like, and then maybe a circle back to Pittsburgh.
Okay. Trivia time. Name every team Ron Tugnut played on.
Okay, so Quebec, Anaheim, Montreal, Ottawa, Pittsburgh. Where else did he play? He's never in Dallas. I want to say that's it, but there has to be something else in there. Did he play in St. Louis? No. Tampa, Toronto? No. Vancouver? No. Washington? No. Winnipeg? No. Where else do you think Tugnut played?
No idea. I do not have your ridiculous memory.
I think I got it.
Really
I think that's it.
There you go. All right.
'Cause
I'm sure somebody's looking that up to tell you how wrong you are.
I want to say there were 6 teams, but I only named 5. So maybe there's one I'm missing.
If you could name a hockey team, what would you name the team? What would the logo be? And what would you choose for the team colors?
The Shadows, and I just have Shadows' face as the team's logo, and it would just be all black. And then whenever the other
would the numbers be in black?
Sure. And then when the other team
maybe
takes
like
the
a
ice,
small red outline. So
I would train my team so when the other team takes the ice, my team would hide for a good 20 minutes before they come out to play.
Such a dork.
Gotta commit.
Do you hop in the mosh pit? You know, one time
we don't do mosh pits.
One Tool concert. I did the general admission floor seats. I got there so that I was in line, so I was up at front. I'm 5'2", and I'm not very big. And most of the guys that are in a mosh pit are at least 6 foot. It was terrible. I am not big enough to be on the floor. So they actually had to pull me out because I was just getting smushed by all these really big boys. I have no desire to ever do that again. I'm not big enough.
I swear she's happy.
The bands that you and Shannon listen to as a whole are very loud and very hideous. I'm helping you choose better bands whenever you like. I'm good.
I listen to pop music too, though.
I don't. I really don't.
I threw on Dua Lipa the other day in the van, and her reaction was not as veiled as it usually is. Usually it's, oh, that's different. It says,
Thoughts on NHL to Hartford? Lots of buzz here.
There's lots of buzz, but just from the governor, and I don't see it. They need a new building. The building they had in Hartford's not good enough. They don't have an NHL-ready arena at this point. You need a lot of money behind it, and then you need the NHL to be actively wanting to move a team or to put a new team there, and that's not there yet.
Why has Indy had such a troubled hockey history?
I don't know.
Darn it. Keep skipping to the bottom.
What did you do?
This is just to help prepare me for later this week when I have all the issues with the live stream chat, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Indy. So you have the Indianapolis Racers, the Indy Fuel. Is Indy Fuel done?
Does Shannon love the kids or Bear more? Shh, we don't talk about that. I do frequently tell the kids that we shouldn't have children. I don't have patience for that. Kids are obnoxious.
Oh, I'm rocking her like a baby.
I don't want kids. Kids are annoying. Mom!
She kind of likes being carried like a baby.
Leafs next cup win is in 2067.
I won't see that then. So
Bear's looking especially clean and sleek today. Aw, you hear that? You're getting compliments. Are you so pretty today? She's very happy.
She'd be glad if the camera went away, though. Look at that look on her face.
She always looks like she's so mad, but she's very happy and she purrs all the time. She's a very purry kitty. She just has that face that makes her look like she's always mad. Okay.
Funny thing is, her brother always looks happy. Shadow looks so derpy all the time.
Will smack you just because you walk by.
He smacked me last week because I petted him and he didn't like how I was petting him. Drew blood, too.
Does Shannon like K-pop?
I really don't. I really don't. I just haven't. I mean, I've heard it. It's not my kind of music.
Bear is a very pretty kitty.
Just sweet cat. Can I put you down yet?
Do you think there's a possibility that we ever get an outdoor game in Florida between the Bolts and the Panthers?
If the NHL can figure out a way to make it work, it'll happen.
That would be really cool, but my goodness, that would be hard.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd make that work.
I remember some of those times Bear would sleep face down. She sleeps like that all the time with her face like on the floor or into the tree. Azrael does that sometimes too.
She does.
But Azrael also sleeps upside down sometimes. Azrael's the queen of weird sleeping positions, but Bear does the face plant.
She does. I think it's just to block out the light.
Could be.
It's always the way I've taken it.
The amount of trades this week will be nuts, I bet.
The amount of trades is high, but the amount of trade speculation right now is ridiculous. So that's why I'm not getting into it.
Thoughts on the Titanic submersible?
Well, it wasn't really a Titanic submersible. It was a submersible made that could go down there, but it was for other reasons as well. It honestly, you need, if you're gonna, if before anybody makes their own submersible, come here for a second. Make sure that it is fully, completely checked out with all safety, and make sure that it's certified.
You have to do your due diligence.
Make sure that it's certified.
Especially
Very,
when
very
you're
important.
putting other people's lives at risk.
It's the same as when you're going to
It's
go out rock climbing.
irresponsible.
Use actual rope. Don't use Twizzlers.
Go
Use
get the
actual
cheap rope from the
use
dollar
actual
store.
carabiners, not just like
Just
cheap
cheapy
dollar
ones.
store. Yeah, don't do it. Just don't do it. Use actual real equipment when you're going to do something dangerous. The more safe that equipment is, more expensive it is as well, but you're better off.
The part that irritates me is the ridiculous amount of money that was spent trying to find them after their
it's
negligence.
A
That's
lot.
the part that's irritating me.
A lot of countries came together on that too.
It's
It's insane they found it.
Yeah.
Considering how small it is, it's insane they found it.
Because they had so many people looking.
Yeah.
Tarasenko with Bedard. How many points?
Tarasenko's not the player he was. I don't know if he would play with Bedard if he ends up going to Chicago. I would think that Bedard would help Tarasenko jump back up to the 30-goal range. Bedard should be around a point per game.
Also thinking draft day will also be a huge trade day. Free agency ain't looking great for improving your team this year. Big deals on the 28th.
There's a lot of players available in free agency that are good secondary pieces and can really bring your lineup together. I think the second day of the draft is where we'll see a lot of trades. I think when we get to rounds 2 through 7, I think we'll see a lot of deals getting made.
What's going on in Boston? What do you think they do? Who leaves and who stays?
I think they're waiting on an answer from Bergeron and Krejci on what they're going to do. And, I mean, they need that soon. And then Boston doesn't have a lot of cap space either. So unless they're going to move somebody to make cap space, that's probably part of the reason why I keep seeing Ullmark's name trending. I really can't see them trading Ullmark, but they're going to have to do something. But Bergeron, if he hasn't already told them what his intention is, he kind of needs to tell them over the next week.
Do you think the Wings make a move in the trade market this week?
They're working the phones. They're in on DeBrincat. We know they're in on DeBrincat. If they don't get DeBrincat, I'm sure that Yzerman will be on the phones talking to other teams about other star players.
Zach Benson or Ryan Leonard?
I have Benson higher on my list, but it really could go either way. The wingers in this draft class, honestly, the draft in general, I can't remember seeing so many prospects that have so many glowing comments about how good they are in each zone and how smart they play. I don't know that you can go wrong from this draft class when you look at those numbers, but again, as time goes by, we'll find out which one's better. For me, I would go with Benson, but some lists have Leonard higher.
What cool color do you think is most underutilized in NHL jerseys? Purple.
This one right here?
Definitely purple.
Yep.
It's not marigold, that's for sure.
Nope. Nope.
Or navy blue. Or orange. Red.
I'd like to see
There's
a steel blue.
I'd
like to see a steel blue jersey in the NHL. So not dark navy.
It's that navy blue is used a lot. Marigold is used a lot.
I would go with a nice steel blue.
Red
got like that half gray look to it.
That would be nice.
Really, really sharp color that
I really like
uses.
Seattle's colors. I really like the colors Seattle picked.
Seattle has good colors.
Yeah, they did a good job. I also like Vegas. I think it's fun that they used gold because that's different and it's very Vegas.
It is the most Vegas jersey they could have.
I like when teams do something different, so then you can tell what team it is just by the colors, which is cool because then I think you can do so much more with it. Because like if you have just red and black, Well, you don't know what team that is. There's too many red and black. Or if you have red and blue, well, don't know what team that is. There's too many red and blue. So it's nice when they have something different.
Mm-hmm.
The Flyers' new jerseys this year are hot.
I like them. I think they're nice. I think they made a couple of changes. They went with the darker orange. Nice call. The black neckline. I like that a lot.
I do
I think they
prefer
did
it
well.
over pylon orange, but it's still it's not that.
I'm getting a home and away, so
I'm sure you are, but it's gonna look just like your old ones. So
no, it's not. All right, looks like there's another video coming.
Beyond, really, they are different. I swear they're different.
I can still make that argument with Boston. I can still make that argument with Boston.
I remember. Look, I swear they're different. See this line?
Different. They are different.
Spite video, lol. So you can tell we're married. Oh, my wife said what? Video.
See, you should do some videos, and then we could go back and forth on stuff like that.
Or me saying, seriously, all they changed was a stripe. It's just a ploy to get you guys all buy a new jersey, and you know what? It worked.
They didn't just change the stripe.
I know they changed it.
They changed the color
from pylon orange to the more burnt orange.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't need to change the logo. It's perfection. Philly's logo is perfect.
Did I miss a question?
Yeah, what did you do?
I don't know.
Now what?
I see Tarasenko, Horvat, Barzal is good first line.
Again, Tarasenko has definitely slowed down a bit. I don't know if he's a first liner at this stage.
I think I got him, Mom.
I think you did too. I think you're good. Whew.
Imagine if Yvonne showed up for a news of the day video. Freak me out for sure, lol.
That's what I wanted her to do on April 1st. There were a few times where I've said, hey, why don't you do this video for me? And then we'll just post it and see what happens. And then it doesn't happen. So, I'm disappointed. The internet's disappointed.
I don't think most of the internet's disappointed. I think
you could do a recap of a game.
Glad that
you could write your own notes.
Not like me doing the notes for game reviews. They would not appreciate my
This
comments.
is when the players got stupid.
Yeah, being stupid again.
Yeah.
This guy was being an idiot. Seriously. But anyways. What time does the live stream start on Wednesday? Have you posted that yet?
I haven't posted it yet.
We will post them early. We'll try and do that today.
The draft starts at 4:00, so I'm figuring 3:30
Yeah.
we'll start the live stream, and then we'll go from there. It won't be in this room. The live stream will be from the rec room because we've got the TV in there. So I'm going to take the setup into the other room. So there'll be an echo. I'm going to be aware there's an echo, and it's fine. Happens.
People will still whine about it though.
Yes.
Do the Buffalo Sabres want Kevin Adams to get fired as a GM?
No. He's done well. I think he's done a good job so far.
Do you think Pittsburgh can win a round if they get Connor Hellebuck?
Yes, but Hellebuck can't do it himself. So if you add Hellebuck in net, that's one piece. But the thing is, the Jets would want a goaltender back in a Hellebuck trade too at this point because they don't really have one. So that's where it gets tricky because if they let Jari go, well, how do you trade for Hellebuck then?
And a live stream for the award show. Probably
that's
not.
Tomorrow.
Probably
She's
not.
Tomorrow.
This is supposed to be this is supposed to be the last week of
getting
school,
his modeling.
But since our only one that's in public school is in high school and he doesn't have any tests that he has to do this next week. He's out of school and then he starts work the week after. So this is my only week that all three kids are home for the entire summer. So we're doing all of the things this week. We can't go camping though because we're busy like every single night because hockey. So tomorrow I just don't think it'll work.
No.
Just because I'm trying to do stuff with the kids this week.
But we have Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday live streams.
You will have lots of listeners talk on and on and on.
The Vegas / Anaheim funding live streams
Yes.
for a trip in August.
Oh, where was it? Somebody asked a question and I lost it.
What did you do?
There
What
was.
did you do?
Any redraft videos coming? Love them.
Yes. There will definitely be redraft videos this summer, various videos. I also want to do a video where I rank forwards, defensemen, and goaltenders so people can tell me why I'm wrong. And, that kind of thing. I do plan on doing a lot of list videos and stuff this summer.
Recent fan of the channel, catching up on all of your videos. Love them. Keep up the great work. Go Bruins. Predictions in our upcoming year. Playoffs.
It really with Bergeron and Krejci, those are your 1 and 2 centers. If they're both gone, Boston needs to replace at least one of those two down the middle, and they don't have a lot of cap space. They have 4.9 million in cap space, so they're going to have to get creative. And if they don't, I don't think you make it very far with Charlie Coyle as your number 1 center.
Shadow Malachi has a job now. Wow, I feel old. You want to feel old? It's not Malachi that has a job. It's Gabriel, the younger one. Malachi, not quite. We have to get all the
it's gonna take some
special
work.
needs
It's gonna take some work
for
to get to that.
Because he's 18. He just graduated last week, so it takes a little bit to get him switched over to all the adult special needs stuff. Whereas he was kid, he's right in that year where you have to switch from the youth special needs to the adult special needs stuff, and it's kind of tricky.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, lots of papers. Do you think Trotz was a good hire for the Preds?
Yes. He was there so long as the head coach. You want somebody who understands the organization and the fans and the players, and Trotz was the perfect pick for that.
What do you think happens with the Calgary players?
I don't know that all of them are going to get traded. I don't know that that's going to happen. I think Hanifin gets traded. I think Toffoli probably does too. I don't know that Lindholm or Backlund do. If they put Backlund on the market, I'm sure, or Backlund, if they put Lindholm on the market, they'd have some interest from teams, obviously. But him being in the final year of a deal, they'd probably want to sign an extension as well. So it's going to be dicey, but I don't think Calgary's going to lose everybody.
I say mods should go on strike until Yvonne does a video.
Which mod suggested that? Oh, Lisa. Okay. All right.
Hope to see you both at Disneyland this time. I can't wait. I am so excited. I am so excited.
She might be nerdily excited.
I am. I'm really excited.
A little bit.
So
well, I mean, we have both of the bookings done for both Las Vegas and Anaheim. And then all we need to do is get the flight from Vegas to Anaheim and from Anaheim to SeaTac, and then we're good.
Yeah. Well, I already got that one.
Yeah, you did. Good job. Yep, you got that one too. Good job. Good work, sweetie. What?
Shannon, behave.
What?
Don't want to get into the warm-up jerseys, but if the Hurricanes should include all Stahl brothers, could they please do an all-Stahl jersey in warm-ups?
See, now that would not be the same thing at all. So you'd have sort of like when Malkin played his 1000th game and all the Penguins came out wearing Malkin jerseys and they were all stretching like Malkin, which was entertaining. Yeah, you can do that.
Are you going to do any history playlists?
Yes, I will. I'm going to be doing history playlists, jersey countdown, all that other fun stuff. Absolutely.
Aw, Lars, thanks for all you guys
thanks,
do.
Lars.
Keep up the good work.
And he's
joining
Lisa.
I was just like, gosh, and Lars, we appreciate you. You guys, mods are awesome. So, gosh, remember back when we didn't really have mods? What a pain.
Hey, everybody be nice.
We definitely appreciate our mods. They can't fire me. I need the money. Wait.
What?
Thoughts on Tampa this upcoming season?
Tampa's still going to be in contention. I think Tampa's got at least another year or two of contention before needing a rebuild or retool of any sort. What in the world is your problem today? Dear Lord, your attitude, Missy. You smack every cat that's near you. Are you getting like whatever Pixel has? Dear Lord. Shadow's allowed to exist, you know.
In your opinion, are the New Jersey Devils top 3 team to win a cup in next 5 years?
5 years is a long time. New Jersey will be in contention, I would think, for most of the next 5 years. I think they have a chance. I do wonder if they have a goalie right now that can lead them through 4 rounds. But we'll see.
Bunnies versus cats in a hockey game. What happens?
Not
Be
much.
chaos. Probably all take a nap.
If you want the rabbits to engage, it'd have to be food. So they'd eat whatever we're using for the puck. If you want cats to engage, it has to be like catnip ball. And then that's not going in a net or anything. It's just flying all over the place. So it would just be chaos.
Are your cats maniacs like mine are? We have some spazzy cats. They really are. Bear's ridiculous. Azrael is a spaz, and she's not graceful. Maple has to climb on everything. She has to get as high as she possibly can all of the time, even if it's not safe. Pixel wants to lay on anything that I'm trying to use. Let's see. Bear always wants to be held. Shadow likes to smack you if you're walking by. Yeah, they're all of our cats are.
He's not sure about me picking him up. I got a dirty look.
He's like, I did not okay this. How old is Shadow?
He's turning 10. He turns 10 this summer.
And Bear.
Yep, him and Bear are 10 this summer. Pixel's turning 9.
Yep.
And the kittens are 1.
It's almost Pixel's birthday. Our guest birthday.
I don't know my cat's birthday either. They were strays.
Yeah, we guessed Pixel's birthday.
This beast was a stray cat.
And then the Maple and Azrael are a year old. Look, you can see how big Shadow is. What would you think about an NFL-style realignment to 8 divisions of 4 teams each?
It would be 1 week into the season, and we would hear complaining about how there's a team leading its division that wouldn't make it anywhere near the top of another division. That's the issue with 4-team divisions. You're going to have some bad divisions.
My cat just tried grabbing a fishing lure I was organizing out. Oh, my goodness. Dang. Our cat that I'm sure one day she's going to seriously injure herself would have to be Azrael. Okay. She makes me nervous.
Yes. She makes me nervous when she's walking around the railing upstairs.
She's not graceful.
Because she's almost fallen off of it numerous times that I've seen.
She eats so many things that are not edible.
Oh, yeah. She's always throwing up.
Oh, my gosh. Foam. Why does she keep eating foam? Plastic bags. I had to pin her down and pull thread out of her mouth yesterday. Oh my gosh, that cat.
It's like a magic trick, right? The magician
it's gross. Bear's done
that too, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, she did one time. I try and be so careful because I do a lot of sewing and knitting and everything. I am so careful about not having any thread on the ground or anything like that. I really try and
I have to
keep everything clean.
He snorted at me when I was petting him, so that means I'm about to get smacked. So,
do you think the season is too long?
Yes, but it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to get longer.
Are you also thinking Maddie Bernier's for Bernier? Oh, yep, for Calder. Fingers crossed here. What are your thoughts for the winner?
I think Beniers is going to win it. I'd be kind of surprised if he doesn't end up winning it. I also want to see what the voting's going to look like for that one. Should be interesting to see the voting after tomorrow's awards are done. I'm going to be doing a video on the awards when they're done. I kind of want to wait, though, until the actual votes are well known as to who voted for what.
Who wins a cup first in your lifetime, Toronto or Vancouver?
The Alaska Unicorns, straight out of Anchorage. I think that now people are going to be making that team on their NHL games. But yeah, of the two, I'll say Toronto just because I can't wrap my brain around the idea of Vancouver winning. If this was me and Steve Dangle discussing, our brains would both melt down because I would say that and he would say, I can't see Toronto ever winning it either. And then we'd be at an impasse.
Alaska Unicorns are elite.
Right? Oh, guess where Henry Winkler's gone on holiday to do some fishing? Idaho.
Okay.
Went to Idaho for his holiday.
I don't know why you'd go to Idaho, but I mean...
Apparently there's good fishing in parts of Idaho.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking he's in the southern part of Idaho.
There's a river.
Yeah, but there's actually like trees and greenery.
So that has to be really far north then.
Is it north?
Yeah. South, it's all sandy, rocky.
I mean, I can ask him.
There's pine trees, but I mean, same in the north, but there's actual lakes in the north. I don't really know southern Idaho very much, but there's a river, the Snake River. But other than that, I don't really know.
Is it a river filled with snakes?
Yeah, probably.
That's crazy. Is that why they're called like
Northern Idaho is beautiful despite the racism. I did live in North Idaho for
20 years. You grew up there.
I did not.
You grew up in Idaho.
Shannon likes to make up crap. I did not. I definitely did not grow up in Idaho. I did live in Idaho for a year in my 20s. It was horrible. I hated it. She was
there
awful.
for 20 years in her ones.
I definitely was not. No. And I was in Northern Idaho, and I hated it. I hated it so much. I came back here as quickly as I could. I hated it. What under the radar player/team will have a public falling out that results in a trade this year?
Under the radar. I don't know about player, but if I was going to say team, Montreal. Somebody in Montreal gets choked this coming year? Sure. Why not?
Obviously an Idaho accent. Right. I super have an Idaho accent. I get told that all the time. Actually, I sometimes get people online. People will ask, don't people ask if I'm from Minnesota because of my accent?
You've got kind of some Wisconsin in there.
Wisconsin. Yvonne, do you want the NHL to expand to your home state and have a team in Boise, Idaho? Definitely not my home state.
Also,
I don't really.
You're going to make a team in NHL 23. I mean, the Yvonne Potatoes is right there. It's right there. And everybody on the team should be named Ivan. Because, of course, that could be pronounced Yvonne. So, be the whole team of Yvonnes for the Yvonne Potatoes. But it should have, like, the coloring of, like, a potato sack.
You're a potato sack.
They could look like Sackboy from the PlayStation games. You know, Little Big Planet. That could be great. That would be awesome. And then you could even do some kind of a tie-in
brown
with
and green jerseys. That would be so ugly. Oh my gosh, that would be ugly. Shannon is a dork. Agreed.
No, I think thinking outside the box is good.
Said Minnesota, like Minnesota, because Canadian accent or Minnesota accent is very similar to a Canadian accent. We are in Western Canada, though, so our accent is not nearly as strong as if we were on the East Coast
or Northern Ontario, on Letterkenny.
Yeah. So while we definitely have a Canadian accent, it's not as strong as if we were further east. They have a much stronger accent.
True dat, homie.
Dork. Are there any free agent defensemen that you think the Sabres should target, or should they stand pat?
There are some decent defensemen out there. I don't think they need a lot. Power and Darlene are both going to be playing about 30 minutes a night soon enough. If they're not this season, I'd be kind of surprised. But I like their blue line. They need Samuelson to stay healthy. I don't think they need a lot. I mean, they could add one or two maybe depth guys. But, yeah, they don't really need a big name on the blue line.
A lot of people are saying, yep, Minnesota and Canadian accent, very similar.
Like on Bachelor in Paradise, Lisa's accent's very Canadian. The cosplay one. Yeah. Her accent is so Canadian. Everything she says, I'm like, wow, that is anybody watching this would know she's Canadian.
Burlap uniforms. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that would be?
More comfortable than the scratchy gold of the Vegas jerseys.
It'd be very similar, but less sparkly.
And less warm.
Where would somebody get a Shoresy jersey?
From the Letterkenny shop. I have the Blueberry Bulldogs jersey. I've thought about getting the black one, but I think the price went way up on those jerseys. I understand, too, they had a really hard time getting them at a quality that they were happy with. So they're probably expensive because if they got a really good quality jersey, that's what they had to do. But I know they have black ones on there. They have the blue one as well, and the blue one's fantastic.
Where do you think future considerations goes next?
Whoever does the cap dump next, If Vancouver ends up dumping off Besser or Garland or something, I wouldn't be surprised if future considerations goes the other way.
The talk show host thought I was nuts that Steve Larmer should be in the Hall of Fame. He's a great two-way player, won a cup. I know you did video piece on it. Talk show host told me to keep pushing for Larmer in a funny way.
Larmer had the game streak, which was fantastic, and he didn't play like a shy style of hockey to get there. He also won the Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers. He was a good points producer. I do think there's a valid argument for Larmer. I would even say that with Turgeon being in the Hall, I would say that helps the argument for Larmer to get in as well.
Thoughts on Wings rebuild and how Yzerman has done.
Yzerman's added a bunch of young players, some really good prospects. I don't think he's handed out really any bad, awful contracts in his time as GM. I think he's done a very good job. And I think next year the aim should be playoffs.
What would a Lindholm trade cost a team? A first rounder, prospect plus?
It really depends on what Craig Conroy wants. If he wants to, let's say he wants to trade Lindholm, but he doesn't want them to lose any ground in the West, he'd be looking for a 1-for-1 deal. So an actual veteran player off the other team that could help replace Lindholm. If he decides, well, we're just going to have to rebuild, there's too many guys that want their way out, then it's going to be a first and a prospect to make it work.
Ovechkin hitting 60 goals next year. Hot take.
The one thing with Ovi this year, and maybe it was a mirage, maybe it's not the case, but it felt like in the second half of this year, he wasn't as good, and it just felt like he started really fighting, burying the puck. So it'll be interesting to see how he starts this season and if he gets back to that 50-plus goal form, or if maybe now he's just a 40-goal scorer for the next little while. Maybe he's a 30-goal scorer. It's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Do you have any clear jerseys? That'd be nice.
We call those ponchos. Those are rain ponchos. I don't really have one myself.
Nice. You should. That'd be nice.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. What's the most Canadian thing of all time?
Beachcombers?
I like beachcombers.
The
I probably
Beachcombers?
would hate it if I watched it now, though, because we have options.
Anne of Green Gables might be the most Canadian of Canadian things.
I love Anne of Green Gables.
I know, because you love Canadian things.
Whatever. I was told when I was little that I had to read Anne of Green Gables. I remember the Christmas I was given the whole series.
It is required for entry to Canada. They will randomly quiz you on Anne of Green Gables. They'll turn you right around if you don't have the answer. So you have to make sure that you know your Anne of Green Gables.
Did you ever read the series? Because there's like 12 books.
No.
The first one is by far the most popular, but I liked the later books better.
Never that bored.
When they were the older books.
So you liked it when she went off to war? And
yeah, actually, it got a lot better. Oh, Red Green. Good answer.
Red Green's very Canadian.
Yeah. Super Canadian. Letterkenny, pretty darn Canadian.
Graham Greene, who guest starred on there too. Graham Greene, the most Canadian of Canadian actors. Absolutely one of my favorite people ever. Graham Greene, just love the guy.
Anne of Green Gables was awesome. Whatever. I liked Anne of Green Gables. The movies, they totally did. I think the issue was when they tried to shoehorn in like 5 books into one movie, and so it didn't make sense and had nothing to do with the
and then they shoehorned in the X-Men at the end of it. I was like, what are the X-Men doing here?
The movies didn't even make sense. They did not follow the books.
Because she shouldn't be in the MCU.
At all.
Why is she in the MCU?
Other than some of the characters, kind of. Anyways.
Anne of Green Gables, Kang Dynasty, coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah. Red Green. Yeah. Super Canadian.
Letterkenny.
Super duper Canadian.
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Trailer Park Boys.
I love Trailer Park. I grew up in a trailer park. That is an accurate representation of a Canadian trailer park experience. We had a drunk trailer park supervisor who would drive around yelling at us and us yelling right back at him. We had that experience. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's it. Yep.
Do you think Boston brings back Bertuzzi?
They don't have the cap
That's
space.
some nice alliteration there.
The Bruins don't have the cap space. I think if they had the cap space, they would have signed him already. I think he fit in really well. It went really well with him once he got the hang of it in Boston. They just don't have the cap space.
Celine Dion, she's a national treasure.
You can't say her name in an angry tone, especially in Quebec. Great ice fishing in Quebec.
Oh, Molson Canadian commercials. Yeah, they do pretty good. Justin Bieber doesn't count. No.
We sent him to the States.
Yes, we do not claim him anymore.
He's down in the States now. So he's in the States. Although he does come up to Toronto to cheer for the Leafs.
Right.
But no country's perfect.
Do you watch Spit and Chicklets? Nope.
I really don't do podcasts in general anyways.
Our Lady Peace. Our Lady Peace is great.
Very Canadian band, but not as Canadian as The Hip.
I was just about to say Tragically Hip is way more Canadian.
The Hip is the Canadian band. So when we're at Canada Day and there's a Tragically Hip cover band, it's like...
I play a game with my son Gabriel. When we go to a hockey game, we look for the tragic song. Like, there it is. Knew it would be in there somewhere. Always.
See, and for me, there were only 2 Tragically Hip songs that I liked. I liked My Music at Work, which is absolutely one of the greatest songs ever, and Locked in the Trunk of a Car.
That one is good.
That is There's a really few good song.
It's not really my kind of music, but they do have
Courage
a few songs
is okay,
that I like.
But it was so overplayed.
But I don't generally like the really played ones. They had songs that
You didn't like My Music at Work?
They not really. They had songs that weren't played on the radio that I preferred. Alanis is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
she is great.
Alanis Morissette. I was willing to marry her if I'd ever met her, but I never met her.
She's still amazing.
So, I remember as a teenager when she was a pop star before all of the angst came out with You Ought to Know.
Before the Jagged Little Pill.
I was so enamored with her, and she hosted Much Music, and I would make sure I watched and recorded anything she was on. And then Jagged Little Pill came out, and all of a sudden everybody liked her. So I was kind of mad because I was like, hey, I was a fan before everybody else. So everybody back off. I had both of her pop albums. I memorized really crappy pop songs because of my love for Alanis. And I remember she sang the anthem at the first ever Ottawa Senators hockey game, and they won. So they were undefeated that year when she sang, and they only won 10 games all year. So you tell me.
Alanis, good Twain.
Luck. See, I liked Shania Twain 20 years ago.
Nope.
I had Woman and Me. I had that album, and because it was Def Leppard but country. She doesn't like either of those things.
No, they're both absolutely.
And at the time,
horrible.
I was okay with country, sorta, and I loved Def Leppard. So when I heard Any Man of Mine, I was like, "This sounds like a Def Leppard song."
Oh my gosh,
and then it was
so awful.
And then it was, oh, she's produced by Mutt Lange. Yep, that explains why it sounds like Def Leppard.
I'm so not a fan.
I was a big fan at the time.
No, I've never. I was at a friend's house a few weeks ago and they had country music on, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then one of her songs came on, and I just said, oh my gosh, no. And it was accidentally out loud. Yes, it was accidentally out loud.
Feel Like a Woman.
I hate that song. I really.
But that's the one they play all the time.
Yes, but as soon as it came on, I was like,
it's the hook. It's
awful.
The hook. It gets in your head.
Yeah, and everybody starts singing along, and I'm just.
Yep.
My friend was all laughing. She thought it was hilarious.
The one song that my mom always sang along to was "Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?"
Awful.
So that'd come on, and my mom would be off singing it for the rest of the night.
Awful. Hate it. Nickelback. I like Nickelback. I don't care what anybody says. I think people just like to hate them because they're jealous.
I don't like Chad Kroeger, but I don't like Nickelback's music.
But they're good, and I really like their last 2 CDs. They're fun. So.
They're
that Feed the Machine.
Feed the Machine
is
I really
very liked
good
that
CD.
One.
Feed the Machine is a very good CD.
But I really
cannot argue with that.
No, Shania Twain, no. I really don't like country music though. So there's that.
And while I will agree with not being a country music fan, I love Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash can do no wrong.
Oh, Sarah McLachlan. Yeah, pass on that too.
Sarah McLachlan, no. I was never. I couldn't. I tried. Building a Mystery is as close to me liking a song as I got. And now her song Angel's been ruined because anytime that song plays, all we think about is sad puppy dogs at the SPCA. That song is
You
just
play that
forever.
with any video, and it's just. Oh.
Now I'm thinking of all those starving puppy dogs. Where are my animals so I can hug them? So it's ruined that song forever.
Speaking of Alanis, have you been watching Yellow Jackets? Teen Cannibals in '96. It's right up your alley, but I would not recommend it for Yvonne.
Oh, okay, that's what Yellow Jackets is. I've seen
I
the
have no
ads for
idea.
that. That's got Christina Ricci in it,
Okay.
and it's got a bunch of other really well-known female actors in it. And so yeah, I was planning on checking that out anyways. Yvonne's usually okay with it as long as it's not too gory. And if it's got a really good story behind it, she might be overlooked.
It has to have a good enough story for there to be.
So Terrifier 2 does not qualify.
But I have trouble with violent stuff.
So yeah, Terrifier 2 would be a no. That's a no-go for
her. Chris Jericho, best Canadian wrestler, not in the Hart family.
Yes. I will agree with that. I will also say Kenny Omega's in that conversation. But I will agree with Jericho, although Jericho the last few years is not what he was 20 years ago, but that's okay. Who is? I'm not what I was 20 years ago either.
Did I miss one? No, I don't think I did. It just did one of the skips. So I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. So. That's the one I got, right? Yeah,
yep,
I got that.
You got that.
Okay.
Good job.
Did you watch Ozark?
I heard a lot of good things about it. Never did get around to it.
There's just too many
many
and
streaming
movies.
options.
There's too much.
It's too much. Talked about that on the Entertainment Guy today, how there's a lot of shows getting canceled, and then you'll see they try shopping into other networks, and they can't find anybody else to pick it up. There's just too much content. There's too much content, and I think channels have realized, I think networks have started to realize we have too much stuff for producing. There aren't enough eyeballs to watch all this. And they're going to have to
can only watch so many shows and so many movies.
So scripted programming is definitely getting cut back, it feels like. And the reality shows are definitely multiplying because they're cheap to make and they're fast.
Do you like rom-com shows?
It depends. It depends on who's in it and what it is and everything. I've enjoyed some romantic comedy stuff, but it really depends.
It's very rare. I don't generally like.
She loves Christmas movies
shows.
Though. So
I like
they
to
always have
make
the romance.
Fun of Christmas. That's the annoying part of Christmas movies, though.
Because romance movies are just Christmas movies without the tree.
Yes, we do watch the non-Christmas Christmas movies sometimes to make fun of them. Not because they're actually entertaining. They're fun to make fun of.
Oh, she's coming to the small town. I wonder if it's going to win her heart.
Yeah. What?
Oh, he's a grumpy man that hates the holidays. I wonder how this is going to turn out when he gets to his hometown.
Who died in this movie? Let's see.
Who's dead is the first thing you ask in a Christmas movie or a Disney movie. Let's be fair. Whose parent has passed away is also a question with any Disney movie too.
Well, true. Wish you would make a quick recap of Felix Potvin's career. In school, a girl I had a crush on gave me a card of him, and I kept it for so long.
I did a video on Felix Potvin's career not that long ago. I know it's on the channel. It's in the career videos playlist. I've definitely done a Felix Potvin video.
Seafood, yay or nay?
Not really. I love fish and chips, but in general, seafood, I'm not.
I don't.
Once you get into mussels,
like all the garbage eaters.
Lobster, crabs.
No.
It's a no for me, dog. It's just nope.
Sushi? No.
I went to a sushi restaurant once with a girl, and I watched her eat. I didn't have anything. I was like, I'm good, thanks. She's like, why did you already come? I'm like, because somebody wanted to sit down and talk to me and have a coffee, so I'm here. And it was just across the street from my apartment, so
that's not a King's jersey.
Well, kind of. It's Monarchs.
Right, but it's not a King's jersey, so you can't say it's the worst King's jersey when it's not a King's jersey.
It's the old AHL. If people don't like this jersey,
it's awesome.
They're really not going to like the countdown. They're not going to like the countdown if they don't like this jersey, because I love this jersey. I think it's fun. I like the little crown around here. I think that's really nice. also qualifies as a lion's mane for here, right? And yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Do you like Mexican food? Who doesn't like Mexican
Well, yeah,
food?
quesada. Well, I'm going to say this too, though. What we have here that we call Mexican food isn't exactly
We don't have
Mexican
food here. Whatever.
So, like, if you're down in Arizona, Nevada, California, that's far more Mexican.
We don't
than the
have
Mexican food
we don't have
here.
actual Mexican food here. We have the pretend Mexican food.
Yeah.
But when we're down in the States where they have actual Mexican food, it's fantastic. It's great.
I used to
Mexican
hang
food
around
is
with a family
awesome.
from El Salvador, and their food was very similar to Mexican. I always ate at their place. It was never a problem. I'm a very picky eater. You can ask her. And yeah, I never had a problem eating Mexican food. And they would always throw that this isn't like what you get in the store. This is actually good. So, that kind of thing. And if I mentioned something from this, oh, that's crap. That's crap. Eat this. This is better. Okay. And they were right.
Most of the Mexican food in the States isn't real Mexican food either. There's a lot of Mexican restaurants in the States that are actual Mexican restaurants.
Like
we're not talking like
the Southwest.
Bell.
Once you get into the Southwest, you're going to be finding restaurants that may very well be run by people from Mexico with the Mexican heritage, and it is different than what we have up here.
There's a Chronic Tacos in Vancouver. Really great service. I have been to that. That's not too bad.
I don't think I've had that one.
I don't think you have either.
But I like quesada. Quesada's good.
Yeah.
I could go for queso. Oh, no, I can't. I just had Mary Brown's.
The spicy food is disgusting. Well, I don't think it's disgusting. I just can't do spicy
And it doesn't
food.
have to be spicy. When I order from quesada, generally my stomach doesn't like the spicy quesada, I think. I think that's what it is. And so I get the non-spicy variety, and I'm fine.
Krispy Kreme or Tim Hortons?
Krispy Kreme.
Hortons. Tim Hortons.
Yeah, but Krispy Kreme, you can watch them make the donuts.
I know that's fun, but
and they give you the mushy
Tim Hortons
hot
has
donut.
Steep tea that's great.
It's like, look, this is like entirely fat and it's covered in grease. Would you like one? Yes, I would, because they make it in front of you and you can smell it and it's delicious.
How about Indian food? Yes.
She's a bigger fan than I am.
I love Indian food. Indian food is fantastic.
But I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Great. Indian food is fantastic, and we live in a great area for that. So
yes, and we live in a great area for Chinese food as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Van Halen or rap at a hockey game? No.
Rap. If it's the right rap, definitely rap. Like if you're doing like Run DMC, it's tricky. Can't go wrong with it. It's tricky at a hockey game. I think It's Tricky's been played at every hockey game since 1992, I want to say. Like it's played a lot.
Do you like good barbecue? Ribs are the stuff of life. I love ribs.
She loves ribs. Barbecue. For me, I'm a burgers guy.
When I was younger, ribs were my favorite food, and that's what I would always ask to have for dinner for my birthday, barbecued ribs.
The problem that I have with steak, though, is I really like very, very lean beef. And very often with steak, it's not quite as lean as I want it to be. That marbling that other people like in a steak, I'm not a huge fan.
THG and Better Half. What's your favorite song to wake up on wake up to on a Monday morning that gets you ready for the day?
You always use 3 Days Grace.
I do have 3 Days Grace as my alarm. Yeah.
For my alarm, if I have to wake up,
we don't really have the Monday thing though.
It's probably going to be Rosenrot from Rammstein's a good one to wake up to, because it's loud enough to wake me up, but it's not like really, really garish. Because I used to use Psychosocial by Slipknot. My ex wasn't a fan of that one being the song that I used to wake up, because it wakes everybody up. So, yeah, but that is a really good song though. And just the chorus, so it's dead quiet and it's black, and all of a sudden you hear the voice singing really loud, and the rain will kill us all, throw ourselves against the wall. For some reason, people don't like being woken up to those lyrics, but to each their own.
I'm vegetarian, so do you have any favorite veggie dishes? Shannon doesn't.
Hot dogs.
Shannon's not a fan of vegetables. I eat a lot of vegetables.
Veggie hot dogs can be good. Hot dogs can be very good.
They can be.
If you make them right.
I like vegetables a lot, actually. I really like Brussels sprouts and I like to cook them in the oven.
And rice with cream of
They're
mushroom soup.
yummo.
Rice with cream of mushroom soup
That
is
is
the best.
so not a vegetable.
Mushrooms are a vegetable.
No, they're not.
They
They're
are.
a fungus.
You're a fungus.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You can say that. I'm Yvonne.
See, if we weren't on camera, I would continue with that, but I'm not going to. So there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of vegetables I like, and I love
For me
zucchini,
with vegetables,
especially cooked in butter.
carrots. Carrots are a good vegetable. Potatoes.
Potatoes aren't a vegetable either.
Licorice.
That's not.
Chocolate.
It's not a vegetable.
Um,
Mac and cheese is my favorite vegetable.
mac and cheese is
not
a great
a vegetable.
Really, cheese is like the ultimate vegetable. Cheese is a very good
It's
vegetable.
not a vegetable.
No, that's a good call. Cheese.
Shannon.
I could go for some vegetables.
Brussels sprouts are what is it? Brussels sprouts and bacon in the oven is amazing. Agreed. I do
Brussels
really
sprouts.
like Brussels
Ugh.
sprouts. They're great. And
I
my Brussels
can't.
sprouts
I can't.
in my garden are growing fantastic.
Can't.
Oh, and my beets are doing really good. I love beets. Beets
Bears
are
beets.
great. I love beets.
Battlestar Galactica. I like beets, but they color everything purple.
It makes everything beautiful.
I'm not a fan. I didn't like it
love
when I was a
beets.
kid, and I did it at my grandmother's, and my mashed potatoes were purple, and they tasted a lot like beets. They'd soaked up that beet juice, and suddenly my mashed potatoes were beets.
I love beets. And I have so many beets in my garden, and it's exciting. And my tomatoes are doing great. My sweet peas are doing great.
And then I couldn't
My
say
garden's doing
anything
really well,
'cause
and it makes me very happy.
my grandfather would then tell me it all mixes in your stomach anyways.
Oh,
Who cares?
yep, my granddad did the same thing.
All right, yes,
"Ah."
Grandpa. I know, Grandpa. Thanks, Grandpa.
Love your music taste. I remember seeing a Ghost shirt a while back.
Absolutely.
Ghost is amazing.
fantastic.
Yep. Hearing a trade for PLD and Jansen hearken to the Kings for a package containing possibly Velarde and
Fallow.
Okay. Thoughts, and also thank you so much for your hard work.
I don't think it'll just be Velarde and Iafallo, but I honestly I don't think that's a bad trade. I think there'll probably be a pick going back to Winnipeg too. But I think that's good. I think that gets Winnipeg into a position where I like Velarde. I still think Velarde's got a lot of potential. I think Dubois sometimes gets overrated a little bit, so it's definitely a good move for them cap-wise too if that's how it goes down.
Has Byfield been a disappointment? He hasn't turned to a star yet, in my opinion. And as a Jets fan, I think PLD for Clark Byfield and a second or third is fair.
I would not trade Byfield if I was the Kings just yet. He had a good second half. The points aren't there yet, but the second half of the season he was playing much, much better, and I think he's got a lot of potential.
I loved asparagus till I got COVID. Now it doesn't taste right. Oh, that's sad.
Throw off your taste.
I'm not a huge fan of asparagus, but I like it if it's cooked on the barbecue. Then it's good. Otherwise,
but on cooking shows, they love asparagus.
I don't like asparagus
they show
unless
it
it's
all
barbecue.
The time. Every time it's just.
Or I've had pickled asparagus is good, but just cooked like in a pan or in the oven, I don't like it. Yeah, asparagus pickles. Yeah, those are good. Most things, if you pickle it, is great. So
carrot pickles.
That would be great, yeah.
Pickling carrots?
Yeah.
I was kidding.
No, that'd be good.
Ugh.
Pickled green beans are great. Pickled beets are great.
You're crazy.
All the pickles.
Here's
I like
crazy
pickles.
Helmet. Here you go.
Pickles are wonderful. Shannon knows I love pickles, though.
You do. Like I love cheese.
There you go. I like cheese, too.
You do.
You like all the pickles.
And anything with peanuts.
Yeah, I like peanuts too.
Yes, we both like anything with peanuts.
And cashews. Yep. That's
good.
Oh,
cashews are the greatest.
Used to get pickled carrots are actually pretty good. I could see them being awesome. See, now
when I was a kid, my mom would always get those cans of mixed nuts, and we would go through and pick out all the cashews, and then the rest would just kind of sit in a bowl around the house.
You'd have the Brazil nuts that nobody wants to eat.
She'd be so mad too.
Nobody wants to eat those.
She'd be so mad too, going through the bowl and, did you eat all the cashews? Yes, mother, because you only left 4 behind. And then she would complain that those were hers. Well, you shouldn't have left the bowl out then. I ate them.
Do you like cabbage? Yes.
No, not really.
I do. I like vegetables, though. I like a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Cabbage is great, though. It's really good in soup or fry it up with some like carrots and celery and put some soy sauce and Worcestershire on it. Or sometimes I'll slice it into like little steaks, and then I put some a little bit of oil and some garlic, salt, and maybe some Parmesan in it, and then you put it in the
Crazy.
oven.
Crazy.
Great.
It's crazy. I
That'd
don't
be
agree
good.
with any of that.
Do you like kimchi? I want to try it, but it kind of freaks me out. Kimchi is really good, but I can't eat spicy. Well, I can eat a little bit of spicy, but I can't
Not a
eat a
lot.
lot of spicy. It makes me sick. There are certain things of spicy that I can't eat. So I can't eat
I have that too.
jalapenos. My stomach doesn't handle jalapenos, but I can eat wasabi.
I'm starting to think
Wasabi and
jalapenos
horseradish
don't agree
I
with
can
me either.
do, but jalapenos and oh my gosh, what's the
Yeah, that
pepper?
might be-
It's always in Indian food. I can't do those. My
There-
stomach
because
doesn't
there's
agree
something
with it.
I've been eating lately that my stomach doesn't like, and so I'm trying to isolate what it is. It could be jalapenos.
Yeah, I
That
can't
could
do it.
absolutely
It
be
really it hurts my stomach. It makes my stomach hurt. Kimchi can be really, really hot, but you can find kimchi that's not super duper spicy.
Yeah.
Are there any good southern barbecue places in Vancouver?
Southern
We
barbecue.
really
I don't
don't
know.
eat food in Vancouver.
Yeah, we
We
really,
really
don't.
don't.
No.
I know there's barbecue places out this way. There's
Not really southern.
there's Texas barbecue. We have Texas barbecue.
Right.
There's a Texas barbecue place in Mission that's really good. There's a Texas barbecue place that's around the Aldergrove area that's
I would
good.
think Texas would be different from Louisiana, though.
Different spaces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't know food places in Vancouver like at all. Do you guys like Popeyes? Popeyes is good.
Yes, I do like Popeyes. The problem is now we have a Mary Brown's that's just close, and I prefer Mary Brown's over Popeyes. So, because they have the really nice wedge fries that are fantastic.
Oh, Church's. Church's has good
Church's
chicken
is
too.
good. Church's is good.
I can't eat chicken anymore.
I prefer
either.
Church's chicken burger over the Popeyes one, although some of the Popeyes
This is
items I like better
now
than Church's.
The food live stream.
Yeah.
Welcome to the food live stream.
Right before the draft. What better time to talk about fast food restaurants?
I can't eat chicken anymore. After I got really sick, gosh, it's been like almost 2 years now. With all of my body trying to kill me, there's a lot of food I can't eat anymore. My stomach just doesn't handle it, and I can't eat chicken, and it's really sad.
She's also allergic to physical affection. I'm not sure what it is, but she told me
Shannon!
that it causes her physical pain.
You're such a brat.
So, I just, hey, how you doing? It's just, oh, the pain. Oh.
You're such a dork.
It's an affliction. Any woman I've been with, eventually that's what ends up happening. And I don't know. I'm starting to take it personal at my age that maybe it's me. Maybe.
Shannon, you should do Entertainment Guy live streams. Just talk like this. We haven't done it for a while.
We haven't done one for a while. I've been talking about it. We will absolutely do one over the next couple of weeks. Guaranteed.
Just wanted to say you guys are great. Thank you for this channel. I immediately head here after every game day.
Thank you. That's greatly appreciated.
What award are you excited to see play out tomorrow?
Well, I think with the awards, I'm always kind of looking forward to seeing what the reactions are going to be. I'm anxious to see. The Norris is the one that actually interests me, and I'll be interested to see the vote. So if Carlson wins it, I want to see how much of a landslide it is. Is it a landslide? And all that other fun stuff.
Thank you, Shannon and Yvonne, for all that you do. Will you finish Into the Void soon?
Okay. Yes. I know where the book is. It's actually in the other room.
He has it right there by the other camera.
We need to get that computer out of there because I never go in that room now because of the whole way it's all set up.
Cleaned it. He told me he cleaned it up.
I know, but we still have that door's always blocked off and it stinks in there.
We have blocked up just so the cats don't go in there.
Right. But it's just the smell in there is just nauseating.
They do the awards on a Monday.
Yep. I think that's always been on the Monday too. It's weird.
Will the Oilers win the cup in the next 5 years?
If they can get the goaltending to take him there, yes.
Will Bedard be on the same level as Sid and McDavid?
I think he'll get there. I don't think he'll be there right off the hop. And anytime he has a bad night over the next 12 months, everybody will say, see, he's not going to be a big deal. He's going to flop. I told you he was going to flop. So, if he has a couple of rough nights, that's what we're going to hear. But we heard that with McDavid when he debuted in the NHL too.
Do you admire the few NHLers who chose to not wear a visor? Why would anybody admire that?
I mean, I understand
just
why.
seems silly
I
to
understand
me.
why some of them don't. I remember just playing floor hockey, I got hurt, and I had a cut over my eye, and I needed stitches. So I thought, well, I'll wear a helmet with the cage, and I couldn't play. I couldn't see. I was having a hard. It was not comfortable, so it lasted maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, to heck with it. So I understand players not using the visor, but for players who are wearing them now, it's the right thing to do. It's the safest way to play. And I don't understand when they tilt the visor back, so it's not really protecting their eyes. I consider that to be like Homer saying, this is the sneeze guard. You have to lean under this to sneeze on things. It is that same ridiculous mentality.
Do you know when the schedule will be released?
It's supposed to be out on Tuesday. This Tuesday, they're supposed to release the full schedule. So I'll be able to do a nice video on that and get into who's got the horrible road trip. There's always a horrible road trip at some point during the season.
Mark Stahl injury, best argument for wearing a visor.
There's so many guys who get hit in the eyes, hit in the face. There's also ear protection they don't wear.
I
They
don't
pop those
understand
out,
why they don't
and
wear
the puck
those.
hits them in the ear, and it just
we see that all the time.
It looks so ridiculously painful. But again, I understand that for players, they're like, I'm not comfortable with this, but they're going to have to grandfather something in at some point where you have to wear this protective equipment for your own
it's
safety.
a matter of getting used to it.
Yeah.
And that's a pain, but
Yep.
it's to keep their body safe. You cannot
Yep.
play if you're injured. So
because they have to mandate it, because if they don't, like if they hadn't mandated helmets back in the 80s, I think we would still find players going, I'm good, I don't really need one. I really think that if they don't say, all right, everybody has to wear them at some point, you would see lots of players not wearing them.
Yvonne, who's the better cook, Shannon or me? Me.
Well, no. I don't know that I'd go that far. If you want to have a competition, we can.
Oh.
I'd be fine with that. I could.
I'm definitely the person that cooks in the family.
She likes to cook from scratch. I'm fine with not cooking from scratch.
I don't do instant
I love instant food.
I don't do the packaged food.
Nope. But you haven't had me
don't.
make you hamburger helper. That's the
What?
problem. You need me to make you the hamburger helper, and then you'll enjoy it more. Trust me. Because there's a balance. So you get the instructions. Yeah, you can't really follow the instructions to the letter. If you really want to make it good, you do not follow the instructions to the letter. Same as craft dinner. You cut back a little bit on the milk. You put in a little bit extra butter. You got
Everything's better with more butter. So.
Fantastic craft dinner.
Do you guys have a favorite game time food?
Nachos.
I don't generally get food at games.
Just finger food.
Yeah,
Like
I know
fries,
the kids
nachos.
really like poutine. I usually get them a poutine or maybe a mini donut instead.
I mean, when we go to the games,
food at games.
when we go to the Abbotsford games, I can get like chicken strips chicken strips and fries because it's right next to where we have our seats.
They do have good fries there.
Yeah, they do.
But I don't really like French fries. I am a picky eater. Kind
No,
of.
not. I am. You're not.
But see, it's kind
different.
of picky. It is very different. I just don't like pre-made stuff. I don't eat a lot of
I love pre-made stuff.
Carby stuff. I don't eat like
Give me
rice
that
and
MSG.
potatoes and noodles. I don't eat that kind of stuff.
Give me all them.
I eat a lot of vegetable things and eat a lot of vegetables. Yeah.
To me, if you don't see the word artificial in the ingredients at least 3 times, it's not a real item. Should be artificial at least 3 times.
I like things that don't have an ingredients list.
I think the more preservatives you have in food, the more it's preserving your brain too, because that preservative gets absorbed, and then your body goes, "I need to preserve myself," and it makes you look younger and more vibrant.
Did you guys meet in Vancouver or move there together? Neither of us have ever lived in Vancouver,
Nope.
so no to both.
We met online.
We did meet online.
And on roller skates.
Shannon moved in with me in Abbotsford. He used to be in Chilliwack. That he moved in with me.
Which is where we'll have the next meetup after this one we're going to have next Sunday. So the meetup after this one coming up will be in Chilliwack.
Let's see. What does Boston do if Bergeron retires, and does Allmark get traded?
The speculation for Allmark getting traded is out there because it's a tradable contract and they need cap space. If Bergeron retires, it depends on what Don Sweeney thinks. Does he think that they have enough to go for a Stanley Cup? I don't think they do. I think, and I've said this with Boston for years, I don't think they have what they need to win another championship. I wouldn't mind seeing a retool get done, like what the Rangers did a few years ago. But it really is going to depend on Bergeron, and it depends on how Sweeney sees it. If he thinks they're close, he'll try to finagle a center or two into the lineup.
I can picture Shannon digesting a Hungry Man frozen selection.
Hungry Man are great. You get those, especially the cobbler, which reminds me of that Simpsons. You smell like cobbler. Okay, let's not get into who smells like what. But yeah, it's just, those are really good. The Hungry Man dinners are good. I used to have those all the time when I was growing up. I'd have TV dinner and I'd just sit in front, because when I was a kid, my parents were both working, so I was your classic latchkey kid. I'd see this on TV like it's the worst thing in the world, and I'd be like, I don't need to see my life, and I'd turn the channel. But like I had a remote. I had to get up and change the channel physically. Stupid television. 11 channels.
Buttons? Mine had a knob.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Okay. I was like, that. They didn't have buttons. You had that little dial. 13 channels. Not all of them were actually channels.
No, because you had the UHF channel.
Yeah. Which
had nothing. And then you had the French channel, which, okie doke. Then there was the Knowledge Network, which I didn't care what was on the Knowledge Network. It's just education. And then you had the 3 American channels, CBC, Global, and Czech. Global was BCTV at the time. Yeah. And then you had KVOS, which was all old shows. So I want to watch Andy Griffith or Leave It to Beaver.
That was kind of the channel that was always on at our house. That's why I know all of the old TV shows.
I wasn't a fan, but my mom would want to watch.
Because my favorite was the Munsters. I didn't mind the I Dream of Jeannie and Mr. Ed.
I loved I Dream of Jeannie.
I'm sure
you
did.
will not see
no
a complaint
doubt.
from me about watching Barbara Eden for half an hour. There will never be a complaint from me about Barbara Eden being watched for half an hour. Same reason as Wonder Woman, Bionic Woman.
Yvonne, what do you think of fried cauliflower and fried mushrooms? Yep, I like cauliflower a lot. I like lots of ways to cook cauliflower, and I do really like mushrooms.
You absolutely do.
I like vegetables, so I mostly eat vegetables.
Yeah, we had PBS as well.
Good pot of shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie.
So UHF.
My kids really like shepherd's pie
CBC.
too.
3
do you guys ever watch other YouTube hockey channels?
Nope.
There's enough YouTube hockey in this house.
I don't when I'm not making videos, the channels I watch are generally not hockey related at all. I feel like I get all my hockey out. I didn't even really watch the in between period stuff now on TV because I kind of feel hockey out a little bit.
All day, every day.
So during the intermission, if there's just one game on, I'll turn something else on. Be like, all right, I'll watch some of this for 15 minutes, then I'll go back to the hockey game.
Cauliflower with cheese sauce. Oh, that's my kids' favorite. They love when I usually add broccoli and zucchini.
I was going to say broccoli and cheese sauce is a very
broccoli
popular
mix
and
too. Zucchini, and then I make cheese sauce. Very good. Yep.
I've choked down broccoli before because it was with cheese sauce and rice. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to choke this down because I think I'll be okay.
My kids like it when I make it.
So, because you get rice with cheese sauce, knows you have some broccoli crap thrown in there. It's like, all right, well, I'll deal with the broccoli when I deal with it, but okay.
Favorite and least favorite Disneyland ride.
Everybody knows my least favorite. Yeah,
got it on video.
The video
last
proof
time.
is on the other channel.
That was so funny.
My favorite ride at Disneyland, it's
Is it
probably
Rise? Rise. Called
But
it.
the Spider-Man one we did was a lot of fun too.
Well, that's not in Disneyland. That's in California Adventure.
But
so
still.
different list.
So Disneyland.
Okay, let me think. Favorite and least favorite.
Don't you think Peter Pan would be your favorite?
I love
She loves
Peter
Peter Pan.
Pan. I do love Peter Pan. Oh gosh, that's such a hard choice.
She'll have to come up with an idea when we're on our trip in August.
Yep, this might need to be studied
A lot of research.
further. Yes.
A lot of research. I love Star Tours. Star Tours I
is
can
fun.
do over and over and over because Star Tours, it's always a different ending. It's always, you don't know what's going to happen on the ride. You know that it's going to be a disaster. You just don't know what planet you're going to visit.
I know my least favorite. That one in Tomorrowland that's kind of like the Dumbo ride, but higher.
The spinny one?
Yeah. Out of all the rides, that one's kind of lame.
Did you do that one?
No.
The spinny?
No, I don't want to stand in line for that. I have other things I could be doing with my time.
I'm not doing it either. I'm just asking you.
No.
Because I'm not doing it.
I did it, not this last time, but I went the one before. Adelaide was so not happy.
No.
I couldn't talk her into going on Dumbo after that one. I'm like, really, it's lower. It's okay. She loved Dumbo this last time, though. But it's hard to pick a favorite.
I should do that jellyfish one.
Ew, corn dogs with broccoli. Why would you do that to the poor broccoli?
Why would you do that to the corn dog?
Boy.
I love corn dogs. Corn dogs are great.
Boy.
That's one thing they have at Disney that's good. The corn dogs are actually not too bad.
Crazy this has turned into a full-time job and then some for you. Agreed.
Yeah.
We do frequently have so that conversation.
I've told her, I think I'm living in some kind of a simulation and it's broken. And so I do expect to wake up in the morning at some point in time in my life and realize that all this has been a dream. And I have to go work in shipping again. And I have to, get the orders ready for whatever is needed.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, pass on that. Actually, it works for transportation. I like the dinosaur area that you drive through. I could skip the rest of it. We need to go on that part next time.
Yes.
We don't have to do the whole loop, but you just get on at Tomorrowland and then go down to Main Street so you can go through the dinosaur area.
Okay, fine.
Transportation. Let's see, Peppa Pig or Bluey. I've never watched Bluey, so I don't.
I've never watched either show, so I don't really have an opinion.
I think I've watched Peppa Pig like once. So
see, with my kids, it would have been Caillou was one. That was on.
My kids never watched Caillou because
SpongeBob was another one with my kids.
Oh, that was so annoying.
And then you get into Teletubbies and stuff too.
See, we didn't have cable. Nope.
No, we didn't need cable. We had the DVDs and the VHSs of all that stuff.
You chose to have your kids watch those?
I didn't buy it. The ex did.
Okay.
So there was
I didn't have cable.
There
my
was
kids
a Barney
only
video.
Had
my daughter had to watch Barney
Netflix.
Every single day.
Gosh,
and it was the same Barney episode every single day. And she would beg for that too. She had to watch her Barney. And it was the same every single
awful. Day. My kids watched Blue's
Bananas
Clues.
and Pajamas.
Bananas.
Except she said into jammas.
My kids watched Blue's Clues, Backyardigans.
Oh yeah, my kids like Blue's Clues.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Little Einsteins. Those were the favorites in our house. Yeah, see, that's one of the when kids are little, they don't know that shows exist until you show them that they exist. So I didn't show them that crappy shows existed. Oh, Tupi and Beano. Yep. It's Slippers. That's the best.
So the one rule I did have eventually was no Treehouse, because every show on Treehouse had somebody with that really annoying squeaky voice. And I was like, okay, this needs to stop. This has to stop. Treehouse has to go, because if I hear one more squeaky voice, I'm going to lose it. So that was definitely one thing that I was like, okay, this is madness.
What are the Canucks doing?
Well, first off, they buy out OEL to make themselves some cap space, which it's done. They're looking at getting a third line center. They'll also look at solidifying their blue line a little bit, which is where it gets tricky because I think they'd like to keep Ethan Bear, but with the cap situation, do they keep him or do they let him go to market, especially considering he's not going to be ready for the start of the season. So figuring out the blue line is step one, but don't be surprised if they add a third line center either via a signing on July the 1st or a trade after that.
My favorite ride is Radiator Springs Racers. Least is Finding Nemo.
Radiator Springs
Oh,
is
you
fun.
don't like
I like
Finding
Finding Nemo. When we went on that this time,
We didn't go on it. It was closed
we
out.
did.
No, we didn't.
the
The cars that do.
but I'm
it's
saying
in-
Finding Nemo. I like
okay,
Finding
yes,
Nemo.
I like that one. We didn't get to go on the Radiator Springs.
No.
The day that we went to California Adventure first,
It was broken.
we were going to go there, and then people said, it's broken. So, well, there goes that idea, because you have to go on that right away, or the line's stupid long. And I'm not waiting in a really long line.
No,
I have better
It
things
was
to
a
do with my life.
75-minute wait, and we were
Yep,
like, no,
nope. If it
not
has a
doing it.
long line, I'm not waiting.
Nope.
I've other things to do.
Rise. I waited 90 minutes in line for Rise the one day when I was
Pass.
alone in the park, and that's why I did it. I was like, well, it's just me. It's nothing else to do. I'm going on Rise.
I don't do long lines.
Hi.
I don't have enough of an attention span for that.
But
I
yeah,
get
Radiator
bored.
Springs is a fun one. But I like the Finding Nemo, the submarine.
I do too.
Because we rode on that. I was next to a little kid. It was like two.
Yeah.
Such a cute little kid. And I was talking to him
Little
the whole way
kids
through.
love Shannon.
And he
Kids and
kept looking at me, and I
animals
kept
love
saying, no,
Shannon.
just look at that. Because at the start he was bored. And then I was pointing all this stuff out, like, no, look at that. And there's
So
that.
Yvonne does Genie Plus. Yeah. If we're paying to go to Disneyland, I will
Park Hopper
do
Genie Plus.
what I can do to not spend that time in lines.
Relax.
So yeah, I
Relax.
didn't go to Disneyland to stand in the same
Relax.
spot forever. No. So
Relax.
I do plan it out so that I have as little standing in line time as possible.
It's so weird to me that his sister always looks angry and he always looks like he's smiling. He is a very smiley, happy kitty, and yet their personalities are kind of the opposite of the way they look. Because he's getting cranky with me right now. He's going to start slapping if he doesn't get what he wants.
He does. Do you think Hellebuck might be involved in the PLD trade to Los Angeles? And if so, what might the return be?
I don't know how you get both. I mean, LA would probably love to have both. I don't know how you get both. If they do, and if LA doesn't mortgage everything to make it happen, they are absolutely Stanley Cup contenders. Hellebuck's that good. Dubois can be an excellent, I'll say, second line center because they still have Kopitar. That would be an absolutely ridiculous ad for the Kings if it was both.
Where do you usually stay when you go to Disney? We don't have a usual. We've never stayed in the same place twice.
We've been there twice.
Yes.
I've been there twice.
Right. I've been there 4 times.
We stayed at Camelot last time, wasn't it? Camelot?
Before I met Shannon. Yeah, I've never stayed in the same place twice. So I've stayed at the Disneyland Resort, the one that's being rethemed to the Pixar hotel. Or I think it's Pixar something. The one that they're retheming to Pixar. It's a long walk, especially if you have toddlers, and I had a baby and a toddler, so that was a really long walk. So I didn't want to do that one. I've stayed at the Howard Johnson, and that was a much closer walk, and they had a fun pool, so that wasn't too bad. We stayed at Camelot. It's shaped like a castle, and it's only 2 blocks away. So I really like that. It was pretty darn close. Last time, what was the name of the one we stayed at last time? Do you remember?
Camelot's the one we just stayed at.
Was that Camelot? What was the one we stayed at before then? Castle Inn. Castle Inn and Suites is the one we stayed at the previous time. That was the one 2 blocks away. Camelot is pretty
kind
close to across the street from that bus loop, and that was awesome. Loved that. That one was great. Loved the location.
Yep.
And it's right by, there's a McDonald's and a Panera, so you can get really cheap drinks, which I'm a fan of cheap drinks. And then this next time we're actually staying at the oh my gosh, the one that's attached to California Adventure, and I'm so
Rikers.
No. The
Yeah, it's one of the
attached to
Disney
California,
hotels. It's
the
one of
one
the Disney
attached to
hotels.
California Adventure, and I can't wait.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
should be fun.
great.
But anyways,
Can't
we should
wait.
get going because it's been about almost 2 hours. So we're going to be back here on Wednesday to talk about the draft and all that fun stuff.
Grand Californian. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the one we're staying at.
that
And I
works.
can't wait. It'll be great.
I get that mixed
Yay!
up with Rikers, Alcatraz, these kinds of things.
Shannon.
I do. I get them mixed up all the time
He's a brat.
because I do equate
Oh, there you
being
go.
forced to stay in a
Lars is-
hotel
Lars
with your
is
children
linking our
to prison.
Discord.
Very similar experience, I think. Being trapped in a hotel room with screaming children or prison.
Our children were not screaming when they were in a hotel. They
No,
were
that was us.
sleeping
That was
because
us.
they were so exhausted.
And I was sick
'Cause
as a
we
dog
are-
because somebody gave me the illness that they'd been suffering from the week before.
I know
So,
that was not good time.
that was
Anyways,
fun.
what I was saying is Lars just linked the Discord. Our Discord's really
And the
fun.
Cats and Bunnies Instagram.
And yeah, our Critter Instagram. They've got lots of pictures. I try and make sure I post stuff on there.
Yes.
But
But anyways, guys, we will be back on Wednesday when the draft's going down and all that fun stuff.
This week.
Yep. And then on Thursday there's rounds 2 through 7. On Saturday there's free agency, and then on Sunday we're doing a meetup. So lots of stuff. Busy week. All right. Thanks, guys, for coming out.
And Canada
we
Day
will do this again
on
soon.
Saturday.
Yep, Canada Day. So I have to wear my Canada Day Canucks hat
The ridiculousness.
and find some Canucks gear or some Team Canada gear.
I think
for
I
that.
usually wear my Team Canada, don't I?
I think so.
I
We'll
that's
do
what I
something
usually
because it's the first time free agency's been on July the 1st, I think, in 3 years.
It has been a few
So,
years. That's
anyways.
right. I was wondering that earlier. I was thinking, I don't think
Finally
we
got
have
the
it on
schedule back
Canada
to
Day.
normal. All right, guys.
That's
Thanks for
right.
coming out, and we'll do this again soon. Take care.